We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the cloud.
So as we were seeking out different deals, we had a couple deals that looked interesting that fell through. And I started to get discouraged. And this is what happens with a lot of people. You try once, you try twice, you try 3 times, things don't work out like this, and you quit. Never quit. Persist. Dreamaholics, how you doing? It is great to be with you. It's great to see you. And remember, a dreamaholic is somebody who's completely dedicated to making their passions and dreams become a tangible reality. It's great to be with you. Look, I want to share a little bit of my story with you in terms of how I came to a foreign country, the Dominican Republic, where I knew nothing about the country, knew the culture, the language, I guess, and have managed inside of about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, to be developing a multi-million-dollar project and transforming a lot of lives in the process. And part of the reason I want to share this story with you is because you need to understand that anything you see other people doing, you can do it too. I mean, the other day I was in this car rolling down in the car with a guy named Junior, a good friend of mine who actually lives next door, and he's a guy who I've rented from a couple of times as I've been here in the Dominican Republic. And it was the first time we actually really connected, and I took him down to show our project. And he's from Cuba, and he lived in America. Now he's here, and he's doing some pretty amazing and massive things. But all of us started with nothing, not knowing the terrain, not knowing how to do these things, but now we're actually making these things become a reality. And he said to me, Noel, he said, okay, so your first project in the DR, you're doing a 38-unit luxury, condo building, I guess, on the beach, 38 units. He says, you got some balls, bro. He said, that's a big deal. And I'm like, from my mindset, it didn't feel that way, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because, again, everything is a matter of perception, the way that you see things. And the way that you see things dictates what you're going to do or not do, okay? And what we've done and what we've accomplished in this short period of time here in the Dominican Republic, it can be done anywhere in the world, and it is being done by people all over the world. And so if they have the mind and the brain and the body to be able to go and make those things happen, so do you. So do you. Nobody's better than you. And so I really want you to follow me along this, and I'm going to take you along the progression of the nuance of where things opened up, because in the creation process, there are sometimes you don't always see the end of how everything is going to turn out, but there's things that pop up and come up along that journey in order for you to manifest it. I believe that inspiration is an instruction from our Creator to do something. So when God puts something in your heart for you to do, there's a reason for it. It's because there's somebody else that's supposed to benefit from what you have to offer, I guess. And so sometimes it's circumstance, sometimes it's situation that brings you out, that brings it out. But at the end of the day, one of the things it's critically important is that you understand that anything that's in your heart that you want to go and create, you see other people doing it, you can do it too. All right, so let me just get into the story. So first of all, how I ended up in the Dominican Republic. Hey guys, we're going to get back to the story in just one moment, but I have an announcement to make. We just gained 100 subscribers in the last 30 days. I am so excited. We just relaunched the YouTube channel and we've got 100 new subscribers. I just want to say thank you for your support of the channel. And I hope that if you're a new person coming to the site, please make sure to click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know every time that we post. So thank you. And let's get to that next 100. We're excited. Let's continue to grow. Because now, second announcement, for those people, as you're going through my story today and you're learning more about my development in the Dominican Republic, if you decide that you say, you know what, I'd love to learn more about investing in the Dominican Republic, buying apartments, and I guess and creating intergenerational wealth, if that's of interest to you, click on the link in the description. Right now, as we're in pre-construction mode, over the next 2 years, people are expecting to make anywhere between 40 to 50% return on their money over the 2 years. And I guess, and beyond that, the cash flow is phenomenal. If you want to learn more, click on that link in the description, and I'm happy to share that information with you. So let's get right back to our scheduled programming, and make sure you're taking good notes. I'm dropping lots of gems in this one. Make sure to grab those. We'll see you soon, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. Have a powerful day. It was during COVID, and I was bouncing between places. I left Canada, I left Toronto, and I went out to Jamaica. And when I was in Jamaica, I ended up staying there for 6 months. This was completely unplanned. I only planned to be there for 3 months, but then Trudeau blocked all incoming flights from the Caribbean and Central and South America. So I was unable to get back home, right? So I ended up being there for 6 months. And while I was there, I started looking at real estate. I started looking at different opportunities. And I said, what does that have to do with the Dominican Republic? Just stay with me, like this. And so I'm there, and I'm looking at the prices of real estate, and it reminded me of when I saw the prices. There was a group that had come in to Toronto at an event called First Fridays. And they were talking about, you should really look at buying in Jamaica because there's a huge opportunity to buy in Jamaica. And so I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, well, I'm in Toronto. Like, why would I even entertain doing stuff outside of Canada? It doesn't make any sense. Like, our market's on fire. We're making great money. Not realizing that you could have got 3 properties for the price of 1. Yeah. So when I got there and I remembered seeing in their presentation condos going for $65,000 and $70,000 that are now going for $225,000 to $250,000. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, I can't believe I missed this opportunity, because the money that I had, I could have bought 2 or 3 properties. Like, that market value increase, that's not including cash flow that the people are getting from Airbnbs. There are guys that I've met down there that I'm even on that trip, 33 years old, who started at 23 with 1 property in Jamaica and now has multiple properties. Like, it's millionaire, cash flowing like a moat. Like, it's crazy. And so I missed out on the boom. I missed out. And so that sat with me, okay? Have you ever had a situation where you've missed out on an opportunity? Like, somebody told you about something that you thought was outlandish or crazy or foolish for whatever your reasons, and then you stopped listening, and you're like, God, forget that. Because and one of the things that I've learned is that your ego is not your amigo, okay? Your ego is not your friend, and your ego can cost you a lot of money. Oh yeah. Because it cost me a lot of money. Because the kind of money I would have made if I had invested in Jamaica at that time, oh my God. So now we fast forward a little bit. So I had left Jamaica and I went over to Florida, and I was there again through the pandemic. I liked the rules in Florida. You know what I mean? You could do what you want and they respected freedom. Okay, so I decided to be in Florida for a little while. And while I was there, because I made a decision to offload and sell all my properties in Canada. Because I saw with all the money printing that was taking place, I was like, the interest rates are going to have to go up eventually. People thought I was crazy. They told me, Noel, you're nuts. The market's on fire. The Bank of Canada said they're not going to raise rates. I said, I don't care what they say. They're going to have to, because there's a lot of money printing. There's a day of reckoning coming. And 1.5% and 2% interest rates isn't real. 5, 6, 7, and 8 is real. I guess this is artificially low. Because when I had first bought my original place in Brampton, Ontario, Canada, I think I was paying almost 5.5%, 6% interest. You know what I mean? That was normal. You know what I mean? And that was for average credit. You know what I mean? Because my credit wasn't perfect, but it was like average. It was decent credit. So I could see something coming. I saw the writing on the wall. So I sold all of my properties in Canada. So I had cashed out like this, and now I'm sitting in Florida with this, money sitting in the bank, not knowing what the heck I'm going to do next. So I see this guy's image flash up on my screen. I was on Facebook, and I saw this guy, Grant Cardone, pops up, and he says, yeah, dude, even if there's the vid, you can still make lots of money in real estate. You got to invest in real estate, bud. You got to invest in real estate, man. Yeah, we don't care about the vid. We care about vitamin money, or whatever he was. He said something like that. Anyhow, so I'm looking at this guy, and Now, in his videos, he claimed to be a billionaire. I didn't know if he was a billionaire or not, but I figured he's got a lot more money than me, and he's got a lot more to lose than me. So maybe I should go and take a listen. So I went to the Real Estate Investment Summit in Florida, and I will tell you, any of you get a chance to go and see Grant Cardone talk about real estate, you should. He's brilliant, and you'll get a lot of ideas, and you meet a lot of really cool people. Like that, it was a complete perception shift. We're getting to the Dominican Republic, but you got to understand, I want you to understand the decision of why we ultimately did this, okay? Because to me, it wasn't, in quote, a big ballsy move. It was a move that I thought we could really, if we did it right, we could make a fortune, and basically that's my retirement plan. I could really have my retirement plan based on one deal. You know what I mean? Like this, and so it could be really incredible. So I go to the seminar. I had never thought about buying apartment buildings. Never. I thought duplex, triplex, you know what I mean, like this. That's what I was thinking about. I was not thinking that Noel Walrond, Noel G. Walrond, I had never thought that I would be buying an apartment building. I thought I'd be buying just houses and that kind of stuff. That's where my mind was at. Didn't think it was possible. Get to the seminar, again, complete perception shift. Like Grant and his team and Mr. Grant Cardone or Uncle G, thank you. I got a complete perception shift. And I was like beginning to see what was possible. And I didn't have to do it all by myself. I could partner with other people. You know what I mean? And so we formed a study group like this. And one of those people who was a part of that study group ended up becoming, we ended up building a really good relationship, Henry Williams Jr. And we became business partners. And so we were looking for deals in the United States. Now, as I was in Florida, I was getting close to that 6-month period. And as a non-American, you can't stay beyond 6 months. You only get 6 months in the country, right? And I didn't want to be there illegally. So I said, okay, I need to go someplace. And I was talking with a buddy of mine, Sean Solomon, and Sean said, hey bro, you got to get down to the DR. Real estate is on fire. I'm buying a property. Oh my God. He started sending me the pictures of these listings. And I'm like, the Dominican Republic? Dude, is it safe? Is in the Dominican, are the banks safe? I'm thinking Banana Republic, okay? I wasn't thinking so, I remember, you have to understand, I have never been to the Dominican Republic, didn't know anything about this place. I don't speak Spanish, you know what I mean, like this, like this. Well, I'm learning now, eh? Hola, ¿cómo estás, mi hermanos? Hey. So, so this time I didn't, so you have to understand, no framework, okay? So I came, I said, because my time was up in the United States, I needed to go somewhere. So I said, what the hell? Let me go and see what this thing's all about. I didn't make the same mistake I made with Jamaica. In Jamaica, I dismissed the idea. In the Dominican Republic, I said, look, let me investigate the idea. Let me check it out. Let me see if there's any validity to this. Okay? So I meet up with Sean, and he shows me his agreement of purchase and sale for. He bought a condo in a place called Plantation, like this, in Puerto Plata. This is the north coast of the Dominican Republic. So he buys, so he showed me his deposit, but the deposit wasn't what got my attention. It was the price of the unit. I had never seen before, this is a gated community, 1,500 square feet. You know what I mean? Like it's an apartment, 2 bedrooms for like $170,000. What? You know what I mean? Like I was just like, whoa, bro. And he said that the prices actually had started out at about $135. What are you guys talking about? Like, because I'm looking at the prices, I couldn't believe it, because you have to understand this gated community called Plantation. It is nice. Like it's a nice, very new, modern homes, really beautiful, like really beautiful, like this. And so I'm looking at it, and then he said, man, real estate is blowing up, and he started showing me different developments. So he started introducing me to some different agents. One guy named Rigo from Rigo World Realty. Shout outs to Rigo, my guy, like this. And I also met this lady named Milka, like this, and she was also a real estate agent. And she started showing me the different things with real estate. And the more I began to investigate, the more my intrigue was growing. I was like, this reminds me of Jamaica. This looks like Jamaica 2.0, like in terms of the opportunity, low price points, market on fire, going high. Are you getting what I'm saying? So I'm like, wow, this really seems interesting. So anyway, my mom came down to visit, and I was telling her about some of my plans. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about, hey, you know what? I'm thinking seriously about investing here. I wasn't completely sold yet because they were talking about, like, because the market, everybody's talking about how on fire the market is. One of the things that I've learned in my business life, in my investing life, is you never invest based on hype. You never invest based on hype. You have to invest based on fundamentals, meaning that hype is where you're motivated just by greed. Oh my God, there's a sense of urgency, and you just want to put your money down on this thing. That's gambling. When it's fundamentals, it means I'm looking at what's happening in the neighborhood. What are the migration patterns in that neighborhood? What is the standard of living in that neighborhood? Who are the people who are buying this? What is the likelihood of these people buying this stuff in the next couple of years? What is the businesses that are coming into that area? Like, those are fundamentals for real estate. You understand? Location, location, location. You know what I mean? So I don't buy based on greed. I don't invest based on greed. I invest based on fundamentals. The fundamentals have to be sound, or I'm not putting my money down. I don't really, because you could be the person like in one of the pyramid schemes where you're the last one in to put your money in based on the hype. Everybody's made all this money. Oh my God, everybody's making this money. And then all of a sudden the thing stops and your money is gone. You feel me? And like, some of you know what I'm talking about. So like, you know what I mean? So you don't want to be in that kind of a situation. So Rigo set up a meeting for me to meet with the urban city planners in Puerto Plata, and Milka introduced me to one of the guys who was one of the urban planners for both Cabarete and Sosua. I guess because those were the areas that we were looking in, again, in the north coast of the Dominican Republic. And so as I sat down with these guys, that's when I started to get really excited, because they started showing me the plans for the expansion of the roads and the highways. They started showing me certain areas where they are regentrifying. So older areas that are sort of being knocked down and being rebuilt. And they're showing me what the growth plans were for the next 5 to 10 years. That's when I started getting really intrigued. So I left those meetings feeling super excited. But there was still this. Now I have this idea I'm excited about, but there's a fear. I'm a new person in this country. I don't speak the language, don't have a lot of connections. You know what I mean? Like this, I knew 2 or 3 people. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, like this, and I should say it was getting to know, because the only person I really knew was my boy Sean. You know, I didn't know everybody else. You know, these are all new people to me. Are they telling me the truth? Are they exaggerating? Is this smoke and mirrors? Are people just trying to get over on me as being the, in quotes, gringo? You know what I mean? The guy. You know what I mean? Like this is all the thoughts that were going through my mind. There was real fear. You know what I mean? And then I remember one day I was in Puerto Plata, and I went into this department store called D Rose's. It's a clothing store, and there's an Asian lady in there who's, I guess, the owner of the store. You know what I mean, like this. And this little Asian lady, she could barely speak Spanish or English. You know what I mean, like this, and she's there making big money off of the store. And I'm looking at this lady, and I'm like, wow, that's impressive. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this little lady who can barely speak either language is making a fortune here. If she can do it, so can I. And that's where I made my decision. I said, you know what? If these people can come to this country, because she ain't from here either. You know what I mean? And these people can make a fortune, there's room for me. Like this, you know, if they can do it, so can I. And this is the whole thing. If I can do it, if they can do it, if anybody else can do it, so can you. So can you. So I made my decision. Yes, I'm going to invest in the Dominican Republic. And we originally started looking at hotels and small and large villas, places that we could have cash flow, because we wanted to get some good cash flow happening. And we were thinking, hey, look, if we buy a hotel, if we get a hotel, then, you know, I'm not talking about a huge hotel. I'm talking about like 30 units, 50 units, 60 units at the most for the first project. You know what I mean? Let's look at that, because that would give us, because I had already set out a financial goal of how much I wanted to make each month in cash flow right? So you're beginning with the end in mind. Like, I want to have X amount of dollars coming in cash flow. So what type of a hotel would we need to have? How much would we need to have coming in? What kind of occupancy would we need to have? You know, like all of those things. And then who would we have to have run this place and to make this place, to make this dream become a reality. So as we were seeking out different deals, we had a couple deals that looked interesting that fell through. And I started to get discouraged. And this is what happens with a lot of people. You try once, you try twice, you try 3 times, things don't work out like this, and you quit. Never quit. Persist. You got to keep moving forward. So so we had a couple of deals that didn't go through, and then we ended up meeting this. We were introduced to a builder, this guy Luis, and he is the owner of Quakin Construction, and he is a person who has done a lot of good work, and we like the fact that also he was on the board of tourism. You know what I mean? So that means he's got something to lose. He's got a reputation. You know what I mean? That's important to him, and he spoke English, which was also a huge plus. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, so we had a dinner with this guy, and he started explaining to us that COVID was one of the best things that ever happened to the country for real estate, because particularly on the North Coast, things had been dead for a while like this, and he said it's revived things. And then of course the new president of the president of the country, being from the North Coast, they had shifted their focus of investment to the North. You know what I mean? And so a lot of money started coming into the North Coast, which inspired a lot of people to come here and to build and to sell. So the whole area has been exploding. And you're talking about massive jumps. Inside of 2 years, in some cases, the markets jump between 50 to 100%, depending on the area. Yeah, inside of 2 years. Like this, yeah. So like this, so it was on and popping in the North Coast. And so now we had to try to find the deal. So we were looking for hotels. He said, no, it's better to go buy the land and build what you want to build. Like this. And then we can either sell the units and we can hold on to some and rent some and all that kind of stuff. We have options. But we could make a lot more money that way. And it was like, interesting. I have never developed a property before. I've raised money for developers back home. Like, shout outs to my boy Sherrard McQueen, M5B Developments. Whoa, you know what I mean? Like this, you know, but I had never been involved. I've never personally done it. Like, I've been around it. I've been in the meetings, but I've never been directly involved with having a development. I said, you know what? And I was talking with my partner, Henry. I said, well, I think we need to invest here for a couple of reasons. And I think we should do this development thing with somebody on the ground that we can count on, because he's not a rookie. He knows what he's doing here. And he's got a team of people who know what they're doing. So to me, part of the reason it didn't look like a ballsy thing to me, it looked like because I had the comfort of knowing that I had a partnership with somebody who already knew what they were doing. And so now I could focus on what I knew how to do best, which was raise money, I guess, and raise investors for the project. You know, I guess that's something I could do, no problem, right? Like this. And then, my partner Henry, because he had been far more involved on the construction side, he knows the numbers. Like we call him Mr. Numbers. He's the CFO of W2Q. He's our CFO, like this, because he's a numbers guy, like this. And so coming in with somebody who was strong with numbers and already had a foundation in construction, partnering with a builder who already had a success rate, I guess, and knew what they were doing on the building side, that created comfort for me. I wasn't trying to go in by myself to go in and do to build and develop. There's so many things that I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So many things I wouldn't know what to look for. But that's what the arbitrage is one of the best things you could do. Bring together the people, like with all of their strengths, in order to create something that's new. Are you getting what I'm saying? Like this, and so that's what we did. So I went. So I'll make a long story very, very short. We knocked on like hundreds of different doors. We looked at all types of different properties. We looked at all types of different land. And then ultimately we found a piece of land in an area in East Cabarete called Camino del Sol, like this, which is right next to La Boca, you know, which is close to La Boca. And what we found was this area that used to be the hip strip, like this for Cabarete. You know what I mean? And Cabarete is a huge surfing town. It's a place where some of the biggest surfing competitions in the world happen, right here in the DR, like this. And a lot of expats. There's a lot of Canadians and Americans and Germans. A lot of people are here, like this. I guess in this part of the world. And so we know that there's a huge market, and there's people who are wanting to buy, people who want to come and rent. It's just a great market, and the Cabarete area is a very family-friendly experience here. It's a very family-friendly, and it's extremely safe. Like, it's a very, very safe. It's one of the safest places in the island. You know what I mean? Like this, and so it checked all the boxes. It checked all the boxes, and so I was excited, super excited. So there was no fear because I had the right team, I guess, and we had done the research. And we found the right area, and because we know the area that we're in, all of the building is going east. So over the next 5 to 10 years, that whole area is going to be completely transformed. So it's a beautiful thing knowing that not just us, but our investors, but the buyers, people who are buying units, are going to be in a situation where they're going to make a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like this, and so that's super exciting and very important. You want to make certain that you have a deal that's a win-win-win for everybody. And so we just recently launched the project, and we started selling units, and we're doing some really incredible things. So that's how I started out, not knowing anything about the Dominican Republic, coming here and now building a multi-million-dollar deal, which over the next 24 months, you know what I mean, is going to be completed, and it's going to be and we'll have the first 5-star experience for the East Cabarete, you know what I mean, here in Cabarete. So it's a really exciting time. It's called W2Q and Residences. It's all right on the beach. Beautiful beach. Beautiful beachfront, and it's going to give people a really luxurious experience. I really want you to get about sharing, as I'm sharing the story with you, that I just sort of went step by step by step. Left Canada, you know, went and got to, started to see what life could be like outside of Canada in Jamaica, saw what an opportunity I missed out on in Jamaica, get to Florida, go to a seminar, get inspired to do these buildings, ultimately end up coming here like this because a buddy of mine, Sean, thank you, Sean, like this, you know, told me about this place, and then, you know, and then the research began and beginning to understand things. Then having to overcome the fear of being in a new environment, not speaking the language and not knowing the culture, but knowing that I can learn. And I am learning Spanish right now, which is, it's a great to know I'm picking up an additional skill, which is great, you know what I mean, being able to communicate with people here. You know what I mean? Now, you don't need to technically speak Spanish in order to be here, but I feel that if you're in that country, you should learn the language. You know what I mean? A lot of people in Canada say, well, if you're in Canada, you should learn English. Well, if I'm in the Dominican Republic, I should learn Spanish. You know what I mean? And communication is everything. I think everybody should learn as many languages as you can. You know, I mean, get as many as you can so you can communicate with the world. It opens up a whole different set of opportunities for you when you can communicate. So I connected and partnered with good people on the ground here like this, and we have an amazing lawyer, Nadeli. Boom, she's awesome. You know what I mean, like this. And you know, so we've got a dream team creating a dream project in dream country. You know what I mean? Here we are in paradise in the Dominican Republic. If we can do it, if I can do it, so can you. I want you to sit back and now and start to think, what do I want to create? What would be really cool? What maybe it's been a little bit scary, and so I've held back and I haven't taken that action. What could I do? What steps could I take now? It starts with baby steps, because it didn't all happen overnight. This has been 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. You know what I mean? Like this, that we're going on with this project to get it to where it is. So it may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's about getting it done. It's about making that vision that's in your mind become a tangible reality. That's what this is all about. So I want you to let me know in the comments what that dream that you have is. What is it that you want to pursue? What is it that you want to create? Where in the world do you want to make that happen? The world is open to you. Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? What do you want to create? It's all available. It's available for all of us. And always remember, like, I feel at home anywhere, because I believe that as much as I am Canadian, I'm born Canadian, with dual citizenship with Guyana through naturalization through my dad. I got to work on that Trinidadian side. I got to see about how do I get that citizenship too, because that's where my mom is from. Like this, but it's like, I believe that the earth belongs to the human family, and wherever we go, we should feel at home. You know what I mean? So what do you want to create? Write it down. Start writing out your plans, and then begin to take baby steps towards making it become a reality. Each step that you take, the ideas, the need, and the people, and the resources that are required to make that become a reality will begin to show up. Hell, even the camera crew and all the stuff, I guess, how we even, if I told you the story of how we even met to be doing this with, because this is actually obviously a professional crew here that's shooting, you know, like this, another Luis, you know what I mean, like this, you know. So I can't even begin to describe to tell you how God has really moved things and pulled things together. All I can tell you is that it's happened, and I guess, and that the reality now is here, and the reality can be here for you too, if you're willing to take that first step. Take that first step today, and let me know what those steps are. Hope you got massive value here. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, I guess, and make sure to keep, and if you need to go back, watch it again, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a truly powerful day, and let's continue to grow together.
We can shine in a crowd, we never hesitate. Let us rise to the clouds.